Welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a part 3 of my little mini series. I decided to make different parts just because it's been a long journey. There's a lot that happened, and I wanted to kind of get that out there and kind of put myself out there. Maybe other people have been through similar situations. I just want people to feel comfortable and know that they're not alone, that women do go through this, whether it's the first time getting pregnant or the, 5th or 6th or whatever time getting pregnant. It happens. It happens to people, and it's okay. It's okay. And it's taken me a while to kind of come to terms with that. So to resume where I left off in my last video, it was 38 days past my surgery, and I took a pregnancy test and it was positive. Now the crazy part was I was like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, could I still be pregnant from the last time? And then I was like, well, no, because they clean everything out. So that's not possible. It's not humanly possible. It is possible to get pregnant after you have a D&C and laparoscopy. Or D&C, I guess. It is possible. And I was so scared. And I was so nervous. Like, what if this happens again? What if I have a miscarriage? What if? It was all these what ifs. So for the next 2 days, I was testing just to make sure, and it was driving me insane. It was driving me literally crazy. The fear of and the what ifs. And I remember I took a test 2 days after I had found out. So I would have been 41 days past my surgery. Or 40 days past my surgery. And I remember going to the bathroom, I thought, how kind of when you start your period and you kind of have all of a sudden you just have these kind of cramps and you can feel things moving along down there, and it's okay, well, I'm gonna start my period, or I just started. I know I just started. Anyways, so I kind of had that sensation. I go to the bathroom and all of a sudden I'm bleeding, and it's bright red, and I can see the clumps just coming out, and I started to get really nervous and really anxious. What if? So I called the doctor and I said, this is what's going on. I said, I just had a D&C, 40 days ago, and a laparoscopy. I had an ectopic pregnancy. This is what's going on now. I found out 38 days past my surgery that I am pregnant again. I was telling her all of this stuff, and I was like, what do you think? Do you think I'm pregnant? Do you think I'm having a miscarriage? And I told her what was going on, and she's like, from the sound of it, you may possibly be having a miscarriage. She's like, over the next, day or two, if you're having those crazy painful symptoms before, we're gonna have to have you come into the ER. She's like, I can't really tell you over the phone, but she's like, from what you're explaining to me, I'm like, things that I was feeling, she's like, it sounds like you're having a miscarriage. Keep testing, keep checking what's going on down there. And so over the next 2 days, there was more and more and more coming out. And I remember testing, I don't know, it was a couple days later, and it was still showing that I was pregnant, but from what was coming out of me, it wasn't normal for spotting or whatever for a period. So I remember walking down to my grandmother's. I was home by myself. I was an emotional wreck. January to what would I say? May. Yeah, it was May. I was an emotional roller coaster. So I remember walking down to my grandma's, because I lived on her property. She has a little resort, and I was living in one of her apartments. And I remember walking down to my grandmother, and I just couldn't keep it together anymore. I lost it. And I remember I called my mom, and I think my dad was there. I think my mom and dad were at the same place or something, I don't know. And I just was like, I found out I was pregnant a couple days ago, I'm having a miscarriage, and I lost it. Like, I lost my emotions completely. Now mind you, there's like people like in the apartment next to me to where I was standing, and I know they could hear me. Like, I had no care in the world. I literally was like screaming and bawling my eyes out, and I'm on the phone and I'm shaking, and it was like the world stopped for a minute, and I was just bawling my eyes out. So after I got off the phone with my parents, I finished walking down to my grandmother's house, and I told her what was going on, and I lost it then, and I was an emotional wreck for months. I wouldn't say that I was like necessarily depressed or anything, but just so emotional. And the hormones and the trauma that went along with the hormones was insane. So after that happened, we kind of decided to take it easy, not stress about planning, not stress about, because I became obsessed. I was so obsessed, and I was watching videos like crazy and stories and, okay, how to get pregnant after this, how to get pregnant, how to prevent a miscarriage, how to prevent an ectopic, and you can't really prevent those things. They happen. And it literally drove me insane. I was so afraid to miss an opportunity to get pregnant. I was so afraid that I was going to have another ectopic and lose my other tube, and then what? I was so afraid, and I didn't want to, it was like a catch-22, like, I wanted to get pregnant, I wanted to have a baby so bad. It was literally eating me alive, driving me insane. But I didn't want to have another miscarriage or to have another ectopic or something go wrong. I didn't want that to happen, but I didn't want to miss an opportunity. So I decided to just kind of like stop. I need to clear my mind. I need to divert my attention to something else. And so I just remember like watching a lot of like beauty videos and like daily vloggers, and like I really became obsessed with Domo and Chrissy when they were pregnant and like their life afterwards, and they were the ones that kind of like really like made me kind of enjoy myself a little bit more. I don't know why, they were just entertaining to watch. I still watch them to this day, not as much, just because I've been lacking on like watching YouTube, because now I have a 1-year-old. So as you can probably hear the Sesame Street, which I should probably turn that down. Anyways, so I was tracking like, okay, well this happened on this month, and so that was this side. So like, okay, so I had my ectopic, and then so that was obviously my left side that they removed from, and then I became pregnant a month later, so that must have been my right side. And I was like, okay, so this month I can't get pregnant, this month I can, this month I can't get pregnant, this month I can. Well, I miscalculated on a month, and I just started beauty school like a month prior to finding out that I was pregnant again. And I found out in October, 2 days before my mom's birthday. Sorry, I'm a little nasally. 2 days before my mom's birthday, so I found out on October 20th that I was pregnant. Leading up to that, I found out I was pregnant was I was in school. I told a couple of the girls like what had happened earlier that year, and you know, I needed something to take my mind off, so I decided to go back to school and blah blah blah. I remember I was 8 days past when I was supposed to. I was using Ovia, pregnancy app, not sponsored by the way, and it said that I was supposed to have started my period on whatever, you know, 8 days prior. And I hadn't started yet. Now, mind you, the symptoms that I was having was I did not have sore boobs. I did not have nausea. I was kind of fatigued, kind of tired, but I thought it had to do with being in school, and I had to be there from 8 to 4:30 or 8:30 to 4:30, I don't remember. Or 8 to 4, I think. And I was tired, I was getting headaches, But I didn't really think anything of it, and the girls were like, well, it's the fluorescent lights, don't worry about it. You know, they're like, you always get a couple headaches for a couple days or whatever. So I just remember, like, my back was hurting, I was tired, kind of, thought it was due to school, and, you know, and I kept getting, like, headaches throughout the day. So, didn't really think anything of it, blah, blah, blah. And I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, I'm 8 days past, so a couple days leading up to finding out I was pregnant, I was having mild cramping. No spotting at all. But I did a mild cramping, and I kept thinking, like, okay, well, I'm gonna start my period today. That's what it felt like. Like the early stages of finding out, or to starting your period. So I had like mild cramping, and I feel it in my back a little bit, just uncomfortable, and I could feel it in my stomach, and I remember waking up like, this isn't the month for me to get pregnant, so there's no reason to test, whatever. Testing wasn't even in my mind because I thought that it was my left side's month. No big deal. Testing was never a question in my mind. So like I said, I was telling my friend about it. She's like, if you're pregnant, you probably should figure that out. If you're not, then no big deal. She's like, you should just go home and test. She's like, with you being kind of fatigued and, you know, cramping, but you haven't started yet. She's like, just go home and test. So I'm like, but it's not the right month. It doesn't make any sense. But I was like, whatever, I'll just go ahead and buy one. So, you know, I was on my way home from school, not even phased in the least bit, not even anxious, not even like, nothing. So I remember getting to the store, and, you know what, I have to turn this down. And, so, you know, I'm on my way home from school, not even phased in the least bit, not even anxious, nothing. And, you know, I go into the store, I buy a pregnancy test. Of course, the woman that worked at Rite Aid at the time, I know. She's like, oh, well, let me know what's going on. And I was like, it's gonna be negative. I mean, I said I'm only taking this just because, like, like, I'm not pregnant. There's no possible way. I said, I've had some issues. This isn't the right month, but I figured, because I am kind of late, but I'm like, whatever. Now, mind you, the months leading up to finding out I was pregnant, I had normal periods. Okay, so it wasn't even a phase or thought in my mind. So I got home. I went to go use the bathroom. I didn't have any cups because usually I would like pee in a cup, a disposable cup, and then whatever. So I didn't even buy cups. I didn't do anything. So I just grabbed a test. I remember I sat down and I started peeing on it, and I was thinking to myself, like, there's no way. There is absolutely no way. Like, I know I'm late, but you know, maybe it's just something going on with my body. No big deal. Not even the thought of like, well, maybe it could be nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I'm peeing on the pregnancy test, and before I could even set it down on my counter, because I had my toilet seat and then I had like the sink right here, like I thought I saw something, but I wasn't reading into it. Like I literally like peed on it, like put the cap on, and I was like, we gotta wait 3 minutes, 5 minutes, I don't remember what it was. I mean, we just gotta wait. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, did I just see something? There's no way. There's no way. And I'm still on the toilet, like, and I was like on Facebook and like trying to keep myself busy for the 3 minutes, blah blah blah. I think I was watching a YouTube video, and so I'm on YouTube and I'm like, okay, it's been about 3 minutes, whatever. And I had it covered. I covered it real quick with like the box or the instructions or something for the pregnancy test. And I looked at it and I was like, no way. So I grabbed my phone like real quick and I called my friend who was the one that told me to get a pregnancy test. I called her while I was on the toilet. I hadn't even gotten off the toilet yet. I hadn't even wiped. And I called her and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm like, but I can't get excited. We gotta stay calm because we don't know what's going to happen. And she's like, I'm so excited, I'm so happy. And I'm like, I'm excited and happy too, but I can't think about that right now. I just have to think about, okay, is this going to be viable? Am I going to have another miscarriage? Am I going to have an ectopic? I can't get excited about this, but I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts and go from there. I thought I was going to be able to finish this in a part 3, but these videos are going to be really long, and I think I'm going to make a part 4. I probably should have stated this in the first video. But I am going to make a part 4, and we'll kind of go from there. So I appreciate everybody who's watching. I'm glad that I'm able to talk about this and that there are similar stories out there, and I just want to let people know that it is okay. Things do happen, and to never be afraid. Because if you don't take that chance, then you'll never know. You will never know. So please subscribe to my channel. Stay up to date on our new adventure. And sorry, I keep like, first of all, I have hair that's like hanging down, and anyways, so subscribe, hit the notification bell to know when I've uploaded. I'm really going to try to stay consistent as much as possible. I'm like throwing myself back into this because I really, really want to share my journey. And we'll pick up where we left off in a part 4. Thanks. Bye.